Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Mortal Kombat 1 running on the Steamdeck. Now we've all had some pretty good laughs over the over the Switch version, with it being a significantly less powerful system. The hardware really was from 2015 and was actually never meant to be a game system. It was really meant to be in cars, as to supplement the the GPS and the tracking data. And the fact that it became a pretty good game machine was a marvel in itself. But now let's look at the other side of things. We have a significantly more powerful portable, essentially running the PC version. Okay, what do we got here? I think this is all going to be normal. These options should carry over from my PC version. Oh, I guess I should say controller, huh? Yeah. Now this will be interesting since the max resolution for the Steamdeck is only 720p. Of course, the Switch version doesn't reach 720p ever, I don't think. Hold on a minute. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. So it looks like the default is no VSync, which is probably okay. The default frame limit is 30 frames. That's interesting. So that is just like the Switch. I would have thought the default would be 60 frames. I wonder if it can't do it. Well, let's see. Let's see if it can do 60. And then, since this is the PC version, a number of upscaling methods are supported. All right, we'll try it raw. I mean, obviously, we don't have the the ultimate, the DLSS, but this is an AMD chipset, so of course, we're not going to have access to that. We'll try it with just no upscaling, see how it works. Again, on the Switch, this is a pretty troubled release, so I'm expecting quite a bit more from the Steam version, or from the Steam Deck version. Okay, so let's try towers and see how it looks. Motaro. I really don't know what you do with Motaro. I mean, he doesn't seem all that useful. I'm sure somebody will prove me wrong over time. But like, outside of his teleport, like everything else his fireball is slow. His triple fireball is even slower. Oh boy, look at that. Okay. The fine detail is definitely having problems. Oh, and there's no HDR either. Oh interesting. Ooh, got me. Yeah, boy, not having HDR in this game it dramatically reduces the visual quality. Like, you can tell the game was built on HDR visuals. Boy, that mesh effect is really it's a thing. That is a thing. It doesn't look like it's able to hit 60 frames. I mean, it's certainly struggling with it if it's trying. Yeah, and it's got a weird film grain to it too. I just never really noticed that. Oh boy, that does not look great. Boy, the way it resolves edges is not really great in native mode.
Fatality. Sindel wins.
Okay, I mean it certainly looks better than the Switch version. But I mean it does not compare to how Street Fighter 6 looks on this. I mean the Street Fighter 6 engine is completely different. I mean it's a different engine, number one, and the visual style is completely different. I think it's a lot easier to hide all that fine detail and those cartoony visuals. Here it's much more difficult to hide those edges. Yeah, wow, that's pretty rough looking. I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised in the way it looks.
Victory is assured.
Yeah, running at 30 frames too, boy. Again, you don't realize how much of a difference it makes until you take away that fidelity. I mean, it really impacts the visuals quite a bit, having to run at 30 frames. Laurel, stop that.
What tedium.
Nah, wouldn't do it.
Sindel wins.
Yeah, that's looking like the old Genesis visuals where they where they did a lot of the that checkerboard meshing, you know, since normal transparencies were you know pretty difficult on that system. That's what it reminds me of a lot. Obviously, it's not the same. It's not for the same reasons, but yeah, wow. Again, totally unexpected. I didn't think it would look this bad. Once again, I reiterate, it looks better than the Switch version, but I certainly would call these good-looking visuals.
Round one.
With that being said, maybe we need to use some of the scaling, because that's a thing. That is a thing. Okay, so let's go with FSR2. So our base resolution will be 480p. I mean, you know, kind of very Switch-esque. I guess maybe just, you know, portable processors are just have a hard time with this game. I suppose it makes sense. It's an Unreal 4 game, so, you know, games are, you know, these mobile processor chipsets are going to struggle a little bit. I didn't think they'd struggle this much.
Sindel.
Again, this is real surprising to me.
Motaro.
Someday I'll figure out how to use Motaro in some sort of meaningful, useful way. I just don't see it right now. I've been trying for a while now to figure out what I'm going to use for combos and how I'm going to extend combos or maybe make up for weaknesses. I don't know who's good with this guy.
Round one.
Okay, so we still have the problem with the edges being checkerboarded. Oh, that didn't get Kino. I thought it would for sure. We had to use the EX version. What is happening? Yeah, boy, the teleport even takes a little while to get going.
Foolishness.
It is a good day to die. Final round. Fight.
There we go. That worked.
Dauntless, you're not.
I mean, I say that these look slightly better with FSR2,
Queen.
but having the base resolution be 480p is, man, I think it's a little rough. No matter what you do. Again, these more realistic visuals are harder to they're harder to mask, you know, versus the RE engine using Street Fighter 6. Even King of the Fighters, you know, again, because of the way the visuals work and the color contrast, it tends to look better. Yeah, but most of all, the 30 frames is the thing that really hurts it the most, I think. I mean, you know, a lot of the gameplay depends on very, very specific windows and timing, so I think it'd be a challenge to really play this competitively at 30 frames. Oh, got him. Still, I'd say if you had to play if you had to play Mortal Kombat Portable, I think this is kind of really your only option, unless you're talking about getting one of those Ionos or something like that. Then maybe you'd be a little bit better off. But yeah, man, this is rough. It throws off your timing too if you want to do your moves in any sort of consistency. I just said 30 frames just does not cut it with a fighting game. It really doesn't. It doesn't last very long. What's our other one? It's back forward, back Y. Yeah, because it doesn't have HDR visuals, you know, things look like a lot more dark and murky. Again, not the way that this game was intended to look. That 30 frames is killing me. I don't know how you can play this game reliably with just 30 frames. It really hurts. Even outside of the, you know, the checkerboard edges, you know, yeah, I don't know. You get spoiled for that that higher performance. Yeah, sorry, I'm just doing basic combos. you have to forgive me. I have old man hands to struggle.
Round two, fight!
Oh, thought I was gonna bounce the other way. Oh, silly me.
Finish him.
Boy, it looks bad enough where I don't even think you'd have to censor this. you can't really see any fine detail. Boy, that's really bad. That was, So yeah, I think unfortunately, as far as like viability of playing this game, I think it just like barely passes. You know, it's quote unquote playable, but certainly not ideal in any way. And I think unfortunately you have to play this on the big boy consoles in order to get the fidelity that you're used to and that you really need to be competitive. Like I can't imagine playing it online with this kind of performance. I certainly wouldn't suggest that to anyone, you know. Although, if you are going to play it, then I mean, you definitely need to engage in the scaler in FSR 1 or FSR 2 or 1. I think some of the visual flaws that crop up in just the native resolution, they do tend to disappear. Really?
You shame your clan.
I think the timing is a little off too, just because the frame rate isn't quite where you need it. At least I'm just having a little harder time really getting it consistent. Yeah, look at how that star is blinking, or the firework is blinking. Kind of out of control there. All right, boy, I don't think I can play this anymore. This is Audap. You've been watching Mortal Kombat 1 running on the Steamdeck. Again, this is certainly running better than the Switch, which is the Steamdeck's only other competition in this space. Besides things like the Ayano, the other handheld PCs. There are quite a number of compromises here. So you are running at 30 frames. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can hit 60 frames at any point in time, even with using one of the scalers. And you're getting some kind of strange resolution on the finer edges. And you're also missing HDR visuals, which is a real shame. Again, that's one of the major components in the visual makeup of Mortal Kombat 1 is HDR visuals. The highlights look much better, and the all the colors don't look quite as washed out if you have an HDR enabled set. I think it controls okay. Again, since you're using 30 frames, that's your maximum, and it's not a consistent 30 frames. It does drop here and there across your gameplay. I mean, you can even see it here in the opening movies, but yeah, unfortunately, this is probably not a viable platform at this point in time. Unless they do some further patching and some optimization. at least for this game. You know, Street Fighter runs significantly better outside of the Blanca stage, and King of the Fighters runs pretty well as well. You know, if you're into King of the Fighters or Samurai Showdown, I think both those games run you know, pretty well on the Steam Deck. So unfortunately, I would say the Steam Deck version of this doesn't really pass, especially if you're considering playing multiplayer. I think the performance issues and is really going to hamper your experience online. So yeah, pick this up on you know, play this on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or your PC. Although the PC, just in general, is you know, unless you have a rather up-to-date new PC, you know, if you have an i9, like a 16-core i9 with at least a 4070, I would think, then you know, you may still have performance issues. You know, it's a trouble port, the PC port, which they are like fixing fairly regularly. There's patches that come out pretty consistently at this point in time, but it's still quite not up to snuff compared to the console versions. So ideally, you'd play this game on the Series X or the PlayStation 5, with the Series X just having a bit more resolution if that's the thing that you care about. Then PC next, and you know, if you absolutely positively have to, you have no other game systems or means to play, then the Steam Deck, and then if you just love to torture yourself, then that would be the Switch version after that. But either way, you know, the base game is still really, really good. I highly suggest that folks pick this up if they like fighting games. And the good thing about this one is that the training mode's pretty extensive. So if you're new to fighting games, you want to get into them, you want to learn about the mechanics of them, there's an excellent training mode that's provided here. The learn mode is really good. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty good as far as like the lessons that it teaches you. There could be some improvements with the actual practice mode itself, with being able to, you know, to pin, well, number one, being able to pin moves onto the training screen, and plus also have the gauge that shows you the timing of the chains like they do in the lessons mode. I think those things could be in there, and that would really, really help folks learn the game and be more proficient at it, you know, if they wanted to learn that way. I mean, those would be my two suggestions, added to the training mode, which I think would really help. Plus the practice mode in online, in the online lobby, or having an online lobby, and not only having an online lobby, also being able to practice in your online lobby, which they had in previous games. You know, those kinds of things would really help. But the base game itself, the base fighting game, I think you'll have a lot of fun with. And if you're patient with it and learn its mechanics, then you know, you'll be able to do more fancy things than I'm doing, certainly. Which is probably not saying much. I think toddlers should probably do better than me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.